The Chayzim Lublin, his yard site was Tisha B'Av. So he was a Talmud of the Rebbe Melech, and he was a third. He was actually when he was younger, he was by the Maggid, and he brought Hasidus to Poland. But Hasidus started in Russia, what do they call White Russia, wherever it is. The pale Jewish settlements of it. That's where Ukraine, Moldova, whatever those. I don't even know the names of the places, but that's where Hasidus was, and it moved west to Poland. And he was sort of the Chayzer was from the first rabbis to actually start spreading Hasidus to Poland. And like you think Hasidus is Poland is Hasidus, but it was really where it spread to. He was in Lublin, and in Lublin there was the Rav of Lublin his name was Rabbi Zriel Horowitz. The Chayz's name was Yaakov Yitzchak Horowitz. It might have been related, who knows? And he was a big guy, but he was a misnagid like everyone was back then. What? The eyes in a cup. So there are many stories of the vikuchim between the eyes in the cup and the chayzim. Anyway, this is remind me.
The Seichrim of the Sregim in Poland only got a few of them that year.
Right. So only the Rav was allowed to have it.
The Rav was allowed to have.
Right.
The Chayz already had one from before the Gezer.
So he brought a raya from Chadash in Eretz Yisrael. Yeah.
No, I think it was from the roadkill. Was that the same thing?
Well, the Kadav Chaziri maybe.
Yeah, that they were allowed to eat the animals that weren't chef. Yeah. Then once they went into Yisrael, if they already had with them animals from before the Gezer.
No, maybe Kadav Chaziri stuff was left over from the Muhammad that they're allowed to eat. Maybe there are different heterim that you have left over from the
right
from the Zman Heter.
His raya was because I had the esrog before the
before the Gezer. Yeah. So the famous mice is that he comes over to the Chayzim Lublin and he tells him that he says, "What's the pshat?" He says, that I'm a much bigger Talmid Chacham than you, right? And I don't get crowds of people coming to my shiurim. What happens to you, right? So many everyone shows up by you. He says, "It's a pellet to me that they go to you. What does everyone go to you for?" So he says, the Chayz said, that's mamash teretz. The teretz, the Yikash is the teretz itself. He says, because to me, it's also a pellet that they're coming to me. So in as much as to me, it's a pellet that they're coming to me, that's why they come. To you, it's a pellet they're not coming to you, that's why they don't come. Because called perech but a covered, right? A covered is right the vachara. Right? So you think you deserve it, so male no one wants to come to you. Me, I have no idea why they're coming taka, that's why they don't come. So he says, Afal Pika, and he says, it's a bizayin. I'm the Rav of the Shtat over here. Yeah, it's a design that you have these huge gatherings and no one's coming to me. So he says, well, what do you want me to do? I don't tell them to come. They just come. He says, well, I think you have to get up there and admit to them that you're a fraud, right? And tell them to stop coming. He says, no problem. He says, no problem. The next Tish Friday night, he gets up to Rabbi Shai, you're making a big mistake. You think I'm a Baruch Chesh, I'm a Tzaddik, I'm a nothing, I'm a garnish. Please stop coming to me. Right? He says, what an anav our Rebbe is, and the word spread that the Chayz is a Gvaldik anav. And next week the crowd was doubled, and it continued to grow and grow. So Rabbi Eisel Horowitz says to the Rabbi Eisel Horowitz, you can see a couple weeks later, still crowds are still coming. He says, "What's going on? I thought you told me you could make the announcement." He said, "I did. I'm sorry to tell you, but it didn't work. It backfired. So they were telling it all of my anivas, and then now more people are coming." So what do you want me to do? He says, you know what? I have a better idea. He says, why don't you get up there the next Friday night and tell everyone that you're the Tzaddik Hador, you're the Baal Ruach HaKodesh, and tell everyone that they should come to you. And this way, let's say you're a Baal Guy, but they won't come. He says, listen, the emes I'm happy to get up there and say, but I'm not going to get up there and say sheker. So anyway, so that's the under the Chayzim and the blind, the Schusa Yagan Aleim Al Chayso. I'll tell you a verse in the Parsha. We'll do a little Mishnah Berida.
I heard a Gevalt today on the Parsha also on Shema Yisrael.
Yeah.
When you go like this for Shema Yisrael, the three fingers of the shin, you're supposed to go like this, not like this. The three fingers is the shin, the thumb to the first finger is a dalet, and the pinky is a yud, the shakai.
That's a kavanah by Mila. When you say Vaymalach and the Maya Chayi, and you put wine into the baby's mouth.
Yeah.
So you also you do azay. So I mean, there's different ways to do it. The price can bring down different ways. One way is azay. This is your shin. This is your the dalet and
what? So that's how you give the yayin?
Yeah. You dip azay. You put or you give it the pinky, and you have the shin in the middle and the dalet and the thumb and the pinky. I do both.
I mean, Ari, you remember your own bris?
Has flashbacks. He saw his flashbacks.
Of course, he was there.
Okay.
Now you're a believer, huh?
So so I'll tell you what. What was it from the most Yisaitistic of Erdlach? It's a famous Orach Chaim HaKadosh. And this week's Pasha. So this week's Pasha has in its Mamish Moli Dveikus Moli Chiyah. We talk about how many times it says the word Chaim, right? It talks about Hayom Kuch Chaim Matem Adegim Hashem Lekechem Chaim Kuch Hayom. The ganze Pasha is in from being Govik Mimakar Chaim, the Chiyus of the Yid when it's Dveikus and Torah Dveikus HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Shtein Pusik Matem Adegim Hashem Lekechem Chaim Kuchem Hayom. Right, you that are Dobik and Hashem Elokeichem. So the Orach Chaim says, "Tebadeg Hashem Elokeichem Chayim." Kadosh Baruch Hu is Elokeichem Chayim. He's Mekar Achiyus, and it goes. It's Lamalu Lamata. Elokeichem Chayim, Chayim Kulchem. Right, Du bist Chayim. Okay, so there's a double Chayim over here. In it's you read the word Chayim Lamalu Lamata. But it says it. What's the lashon of Hashem Elokeichem? Say Vatem advegim Elokeichem, Vatem advegim Hashem. What's the lashon of Vatem advegim Hashem Elokeichem? Zok the Orach Chaim Azay, half of a fellow. And the halacha in Kedusha Sefer Torah, or Kedusha Shem of HaKadosh, Shemus of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Skars of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he quotes it from the Rambam Yisai Torah that when it comes to Kedushas Hashem, you have Hashem's names. You have Hashem Havaya, and then you have other Shemus of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, like Elokim, which is not Shem Etzem. It's a Shem of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is from Midas of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Elokim, Kel, right, etc. Tzvakais, right, other Shemus of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So you have Shem Hashem Havaya. The halacha is azay that any letter that is nitaisav on Shem Havaya, which is only going to be before the Shem Havaya, is not nitzvas b'kedushas Hashem, which means that you can erase the letter before the name. Let's say you write a pasuk, right? V'atem adregim b'Hashem Elokeichem. So b'Hashem, beis yud kei vav kei, right? And by mistake, right, you made a mistake. You wrote ka Hashem Elokeichem, right? You wrote a chaf, right? That chaf doesn't have kedushas Hashem, and you could erase it and correct it into a beis, because any letter that's nitfal to Shem Havaya does not get kedushas Hashem. Why doesn't it get kedushas Hashem? Because in as much as Havaya is a Shem Etzem, so anything connected to Shem Etzem doesn't become part of the Shem Etzem. Havaya is Yud Kei Vav Kei. You can't be meisif on that. You can't. Havaya is always going to be Havaya. It's a Shem Etzem. Right? If I add something to it, Ba Hashem, Ka Hashem, La Hashem, right? If you want to know what the Isis said in the 12th Hashem, the Simon is Baruch Shem Kvay Machusay Loilam Voed. Right? The Rashi Tevis of Baruch Shem Kvay Machusay Loilam Voed. It's Bei Shin Chaf Lamed Mem Vav. Right? These are all the letters that are nitzvah to Shem Hashem. There's actually you have one place.
Exclusively only those, or it could be other letters also?
There's only those. There's actually one time it says Ha Hashem. One time in Tanakh it says Ha Hashem. But the base Ba Hashem, Sha Hashem, right? Ka Hashem, La Hashem, Va Hashem, right? And May Hashem, and May Hashem, and May Hashem. Okay, those are the Isis and the false Hashem, but they're just saying to, from. They're not actually becoming. They're not touching the shame. They're giving a detail, something a room the shame. Male is not nitfas b'pishas Hashem. Ma'ashekem, when you have Hashem Elokim and you write Elokechem, right? Elokenu, right? So those Isis Elokechem, the Chaf and the Mem, or the Nun and the Vav, are nitfal Hashem, and they have kedusha Hashem. Because in as much as Elokim is a midah, right? When you say the midah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a midah of Elokim, but Miyuchad Lanu, that describes the midah. Meilah has kedusha Hashem, and it's Einim Nimchakim. Okay, that's the nafkamina between Isis and Nitfal l'Shem Havaya versus Isis and Nitfal l'Shem Elokim. He says, I say, if the pasuk would say V'atem advegim ba Hashem, right? You would teach it. We're dovak ta HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we have HaKadosh Baruch Hu's kedusha. But Azayvi and Hilchos Safras, the kedusha is not the Zelba kedusha. The kedusha Hashem is not nimchak, but the kedusha of the letter of Beis Ba Hashem is nimchak. So you'd say the kedusha that a yid gets when he's dovak ta HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a kedusha, but nish the Zelba kedusha of Hashem. Mele says Elokeichem, Hashem Elokeichem, Azayvi Elokeichem. Right, the Chaf Mem become, which are nitfal to the ice, which are nitback to the ice, get the kedusha of the nitfal to the shame, get the kedusha of the shame. So Mela, so too a yid that's double to HaKadosh Baruch Hu gets the kedusha of HaKadosh Baruch Hu as Zayvi the Chaf Mem of Elokeichem. But it comes to the half of the Chiddush that the word is that despite the fact when it comes to Havaya, the midah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shema Etzem, the emes in Ksav, there's no way to be dovik in that and get the same kedusha of Havaya. A yid is a gebaldik chiddush that our dveikas HaKadosh Baruch Hu accomplishes something that in Olam HaKsiva you can't make. Right? Meaning like in Olam HaIsius, in Olam, which meaning what's saying is the impossible, it becomes possible. Dveikas that Yid has HaKadosh Baruch Hu is so be'etzem that even in Shema Etzem that where there be'emes you can't be tuffle to Shema Etzem, but a Yid has the kedusha to be tuffle to Shema Etzem. That's a chiddush of Hashem Elokeichem that the Madrega Yid reaches, and his dveikas in his achdas HaKadosh Baruch Hu is so gans that it's beyond the halachas, beyond the laws of physics, which is impossible. When it comes to the Olam HaIsiyos and the Olam HaNeshama, a Yid's dveikas is gans, and that's a chiddush of V'atem advegim Hashem Elokeichem Chayim Kochem Hayem. It becomes nichlal kaviyochol in the atzmius of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right? We're not dealing with shemus anymore. In shemus, it's not shach to become mitzvah to the shame. But in atzmius of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, a yid becomes davik in ganzen even to atzmius of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As I say, whatever you could just say the words, you can't even say what it means. But it's a madrega, they can't be typhus, that the dveikus with HaKadosh Baruch Hu is so gans that it can be described that in the atzmius of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, a yid is nidbak.